know when you find one black hair on your chin and you start questioning your life? Everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be a kind of fun videos in two parts. First off, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 current favorite foundation, or some of them are actually like all-time favorites, and then my top 3 current least favorite foundations, basically the most hated foundations that I still have in my collection. I don't know why they need to go because I cannot stand them. So I'm going to be sharing those information. It's going to be helpful, letting you know why they worked or didn't work for me, and then I'm going to mix them and slap them on half my face just to try it for fun. I have to admit, I'm pretty curious after mixing all my foundation video, because it turned out so good. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. But I wanted to see if it was like my top 3 foundations that worked to make that perfect mix, or even if my least favorite ones might be not that bad when you put them all together. It's gonna either be something amazing, or maybe I'm gonna be super disappointing and underwhelmed. Let's do this. So for my favorites, the first one I want to mention is a newer favorite, and it is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I actually also did a video recently comparing it and wearing it against the Maybelline Fit Me because I wanted to see how they compared, and this is so good. It has full coverage, but it still looks like skin. It lasts really well throughout the day, and I have dry patches all around my nose. My skin is like oily combo. I feel like nowadays it's more combo than oily, and it did emphasize the dry patches. But at the same time, my face didn't look super oily all over my face, and I feel like it lasted better at the end of the day than the Fit Me. I feel like Fit Me, if you really have oily skin, it might start being a little patchy if you don't repowder. Wasn't an issue with this. It was amazing, and I've been wearing this on a daily basis. The only thing is it does oxidize, so don't forget to go like a shade or 2 lighter if you want to not look like a Oompa Loompa. So this is great. Obviously, now a favorite. It's going to be on that half of my face. The next foundation is going to come as a complete surprise. If you're not new to my channel, you don't know what I'm about to say at all. I feel like I've been so annoying raving about this foundation constantly. This is the Lancome Idole foundation, and this is flawless. This is just magic in a bottle. I would bathe in it if I could. Like, it gives you full coverage, absolutely flawless. It looks like skin, and it lasts all day long. Even if I had like really oily skin a year ago, it would be amazing. I would put it on, literally take the plane, go meet up, photo shoot, meetings, and then come back, take the plane back, and my makeup was still looking amazing. I just don't even understand it. It's amazing. You cannot go wrong with this. This is my 2nd bottle, and I have another one in the backup, so you definitely need to give this one a shot. And then last but not least is going to be something that I don't mention often on my channel because, well, they just added a few shades, but it used to only come in 1 shade, and obviously it's not very inclusive, so I didn't like to talk about it too much. But this is my favorite, like, everyday flawless skin because it has medium coverage, but it looks amazing. And it is the Idole Beyond the Solution BB Cream, and I believe they added 2 more shades, I believe, something like that. Obviously still not enough shades, but I feel like it's kind of a team with a lot of Asian BB creams, but this is amazing. I need to test the new formula. I don't know if they changed anything, but I will be doing that and keeping you updated. But right now, this is the one that I have. This is my 4th, 5th one, something like that. And as you can see, I am using this baby. This is the foundation that I used to go for instead of this whenever I had an event because there's no SPF in it, so obviously it photographs really well, but it also looks amazing. I would get so many, well, I still do, get so many compliments on my skin. People are like, your skin is so beautiful, and it's like, this is the reason. But the only thing, like I said, it has only 1 shade, and it's kind of gray tone, but it does oxidize a little bit, probably to around like NW20 in a MAC foundation, so obviously that doesn't match a lot of people, but now let's go to my current least favorite foundation in my collection. The first one is the oldest one that I have. I don't even know why it's still in my collection. I really thought I got rid of it, and apparently I didn't. And it is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation. And I got this when my skin was dry because I had heard a lot of people say that this is a great foundation if you have dry skin. And I have to admit, I haven't tried it again since my skin became more oily, but I can't see this working for me. It just sat on my skin, like literally looked horrible, emphasized any dry patches that I may have had, or it just even created some. It was a hot mess. I just couldn't deal with it. I used this a handful of times, and ever since it's been just sitting in my drawer. This is just horrible. Definitely one of my least favorite foundation. Plus it's super, super pink tone. I don't remember, what was that? Also, I feel like the range of color was really pink tone. I can't remember on top of my head, But I believe when I went in store, I had swatched 2 and they were all pretty pink tone, at least the lighter shades. So definitely not something that would work for a lot of people. Even for me, I'm like neutral cool, and I still feel like this was quite pink. Second foundation is something I have a love-hate relationship with it, because when I first apply it, I'm in love with it. I think it looks flawless. But then after a few hours, it just starts sitting weirdly on my face, kind of looking oily and like patchy, and just like, it just doesn't look good. And it's frustrating because whenever I put it on for a video, it looks amazing and it looks like I would rave about this foundation, but then I can't do that because a normal person is not gonna wear a foundation for 3 hours, you know what I mean? So this is why wear tests are really important. And I wanted to mention this one. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. So like I said, looks really, really great. It has full coverage. It sits nicely at first on the skin, and then it just becomes worse and worse. I'm not sure how bad it's gonna look today, although I'm mixing it with other things because my skin isn't as oily. We're in the middle of winter. So we'll see if that affects it, if it still emphasizes dry patches, although my skin has been doing so well, which I'm already defending it. I'm not doing this. So number 2. And then the last foundation is a newer product, which I tried a handful of times, and I have to admit, it's not the worst foundation I've tried, but there's just a reason I cannot stand it, and it is the Huda Beauty foundation. This is the Full Filter High Coverage Cream Foundation. I have the shade Shortbread 200B, and I have a really, really complicated relationship with this because I don't think it looks absolutely horrible. It's really not my favorite one, but I cannot deal with the perfume. It just gives me an instant headache. I cannot deal with it. Why would you put so much perfume in it? And I shouldn't even say, I was going to say foundation should never have perfume, but then I'm thinking about the Bourjois Healthy Skin Foundation that smells like fruit, and I'll allow that one for sure. But this is not fruit. This is literally like grandma in a bottle. And it looks like I'm being dramatic, but I am not. And I have been mentioning a lot on my channel, I have the worst sense of smell. I can't smell shit. And this is so strong. So if you're sensitive, I was going to say sensitive nose, but I mean, a lot of people are prone to headache from a foundation or perfume, and if that's the case for you, stay so far away from this. So now is the fun part of the video. I'm going to be putting these 3 on each side together, mix them, slap them on my face, and we're going to see how it turned out. We're very high tech here, and I have a plate, so we're going to be mixing them, and at the same time I can show you the texture and the colors and everything. So to try and make them kind of match, I'm going to go with my lightest shade of the Lancome foundation. This one is 110C. This one has a pretty thick consistency. I'm going to zoom you in, but like, let's try to still show you like this. So you can see. I would say like a liquid almost cream. As you can see, it's pretty thick. Like, it doesn't really moves around much. And then the Maybelline one, I'm shade 120. This one, ooh, there's way more product in one pump. But sorry to not mix them too much. So the darker one is the Maybelline one. This one is a little bit more liquidy, but still pretty close in consistency. And then last but not least, we're gonna add the L'Oreal one. This one you're gonna see the color is so much more gray, but let's do, oh, I'm at the end. Here you go. It doesn't look that bad, but you can see that it's a bit more gray. And I feel like the consistency of all 3 is pretty close actually. So I'm gonna mix them right now so we don't wait too much. I'm just gonna use my finger because why not? And then I'm gonna be applying them with a beauty blender because that's how I usually apply my foundation. That color looks really great. Okay, let's just slap it on, right? I'm gonna use the beauty blender. Oh. I don't have a lot of, actually, let me zoom in a little. I don't have a lot of breakouts right now, but I think you can still see that it does give me a pretty nice like medium coverage. It's gonna be hardest to try and stay in the middle, stop in the middle. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and clean it up after instead. Do you do your brows before or after foundation? Whenever I do my eye makeup, I hate doing my brows after my eye makeup, but then I hate doing it before my foundation. I'm always torn here. I thought this was going to be like the perfect mix and it's gonna look amazing. And it doesn't look bad, but I feel like it sits on my skin a little bit. But I mean, I'm mixing 3 different formulas, so they might not agree with each other. I don't know, it doesn't look bad at all. I feel like it looks really great here. It does seem to emphasize my pores a tiny little bit, nothing crazy, but it looks good. Like if this was one foundation, I would be like, it looks good. But considering that those are my 3 favorite ones, I thought I would like it more. This one is gonna be kind of hard because there's no pump, which don't you hate when a foundation doesn't come with a pump? And this one is pretty liquidy, so I'm gonna have to focus. Whoops, see? And this one is the color 20 Natural Ivory, and as you can see, it's quite pink and it's very, very liquidy. The L'Oreal one, I have the shade 302. And then we're gonna see, this one is quite thicker. You can see. Trying to put the same amount of each. And then the dreaded moment. I'm hoping I'm not gonna smell it mix, but and this one is closer in consistency to the favorite ones I was mentioning. Please don't touch my nail polish. I need to do it today. I get so much hate about nail polish and it's always funny to me because like I don't really care about nail polish. Like I think it's pretty, but I'm not someone that's gonna like obsessively do my nail 5 times a week. Like I'll do it once and you know, I did it. But yeah, sometimes when I do close up, if I haven't had time to redo my nails, people are freaking out in the comments that I don't get it. It's not that serious. The other day I literally had someone tell me that they were not subscribing because of this and I needed to be more professional. And I'm like, and it's like, okay, well, YouTube isn't my job. I don't have hours every day to do my nails. And every time I do my nails anyway, I will mess them up like literally instantly. So this one is a little lighter actually, but oh my God. I keep trying to not breathe through my nose, but this is smelling so strongly. The coverage is pretty good, but that's definitely not the Neutrogena one. I didn't mention that one has like pretty natural coverage, but the two other ones are pretty, well, the L'Oreal is pretty good coverage. And the Huda, I would say like medium full, so pretty good coverage there too, but I couldn't wear it more than a handful of times. I had wanted to do a video on it, but then I just couldn't force myself to try it more than a couple of times. And I wanted to give a proper review, but it's kind of hard if you don't wear it more than 3 to 5 times. I probably should return it actually, but I hate returning stuff at Sephora. I always feel like the girls are judging me, and I know they really don't care, but I just feel like they're judging me for returning stuff. A shade or 2 lighter than the other one, and this one is gonna oxidize too. I really thought they were going to be semi-close by using the lighter shade of the Lancome foundation, but guess not. Actually, I'm liking this. But I shouldn't be surprised actually, because I don't hate the way the Huda Beauty and the L'Oreal one looks at first, but I know that they don't wear well on me. And it does seem to sit a lot more on top of my skin, and it does seem to emphasize my pores more than this side. And I already thought this one, compared to how they usually do, it does seem to emphasize them. Okay, we're just gonna give up between my brows because it's too hard, so I'm just gonna, I don't have enough space in between my brows to do this. And oh my God, I hadn't noticed. Super excited to see something bad on the bad side. I was so scared I was going to like it, which I shouldn't, but I have a dry patch. I had no dry patch this morning, I'm telling you. It's sitting weird on my forehead. I'm gonna zoom you in a second. And ooh, it's sitting in my, I don't really have smile lines, but you know whenever you you're talking, you're moving around and then you have a line because of that? So very rarely foundation will just stay there for me. Maybe in a few more years I'll definitely be able to test that more, but this one is really sitting there. I'm super objective here, guys, like very objective. I feel like I have a little bit of a dry patch here on this side though, so maybe it's not perfect. So hopefully my camera decides to zoom properly, but I have a dry patch right here. See what I mean? And then I have that whole part, and like you can definitely see like half my forehead sits feeling. My forehead has feelings, but it looks, you know, smooth, and then it's just sitting weird. So you know it's not my forehead, and come on camera, focus. It's so not a flattering zoom, but this side sits a lot nicer than this one. And since it's like literally half my forehead, you know it's a foundation and not my skin, which is like, that's literally the best test ever. So hopefully you can see and everything zooms properly, but this is how it sits on this side. And then on this side, you might be able to see the dry patch in that section. It just kind of sits weird. Sometimes I feel like camera doesn't do it justice. I'll show you natural lighting in a bit. You can see a little bit of a dry patch, but it's really not that bad. It does definitely sit more on my pores. I'm gonna try to like zoom on my face. You can see my pores here, and hopefully you might be able to see like a little bit, like if I smile, you can see the line. You can kinda, maybe. Not on this side, because they're good. And a little bit of dry patch right here. But otherwise, this is looking really good. And this isn't horrible, but it definitely sits more on my face than this one. I really need to put concealer under my eyes. So I'm gonna go and do the rest of my makeup because my under eyes are really annoying me right now that I've noticed them. And I'm gonna use powder because I usually always use powder. And it might help on both sides actually. So maybe those things won't be as noticeable, but then I'm gonna bring you in natural lighting and we're gonna look at everything from really up close and personal. Okay, so I applied the rest of my makeup and I have a few observations. When I first applied the powder, I feel like both sides looked quite flawless. I couldn't really tell much of a difference between the two halves. Color-wise, this side is a little bit more pink tone, so I feel like the eye makeup, which is quite warm, isn't as pretty as on this side. Maybe it's in my head. I do feel though that whenever I applied bronzer and cheek products, I feel like this side is a little bit more patchy, although it's kind of hard with this lighting to sometimes see. And I feel like on my forehead, I can definitely see how the bronzer is a bit more patchy on this side. You might actually even be able to notice it than on this side. So that's kind of what it's at right now. I'm gonna bring you close to the window actually with the vlogging camera so you can see from close. But right now they're both looking quite flawless except for a little bit of patchiness on this side. So I'm in front of the window right now. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see because the natural lighting isn't, there's not a lot of natural lighting right now. But hopefully, if I try to zoom you in, this is this side of my face, which is the, you might be able to tell it's kind of patchy a little compared to this one, hopefully. It's kind of hard to show, but wow, we're really zoomed in here. Oh yeah, make it worse, Emily. So yeah, right now they're both looking quite great, but I will be keeping you updated as the day goes on. I've been wearing all those foundations for about 10 hours now. I forgot to do an update. I was like going about my day, not thinking about those foundations. And from afar, I don't think it looks that bad right now. Like, you can definitely see that I'm oily, but it's not like horrible looking or anything. And I have to say, I'm a bit underwhelmed. I was expecting this to be like so much fun, and now I'm like, they're not looking so great right now because I didn't retouch them at all, and they do sit a little bit on my skin. There is like a little bit of it that is like, what's that word? You know what I mean. The oil kind of moved it around my nose and like dry patches, and it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad. So from the up close, you might be able to tell around my nose on both sides. And you can see my pores. They both like emphasize my pore a little bit, and I'm definitely oily, but it's not looking like horrendous. On my chin is starting to, I'm gonna be so annoyed when I'm editing the video. I'm trying to find that word. What's that word? Separate. Separate. So it's starting to separate a little bit more on my chin, I feel like. You can definitely still see the line in the middle of my chin. I don't feel like it's that bad on the rest of my face except the chin. So maybe just for the heck of it, I'm gonna reapply powder just to see if we can see the texture of the foundation a little bit better. Maybe I should try to remove a little bit of oil first, right? So let's blot a little bit. There's a little bit of lipstick, but I don't think there's that much foundation on this side. Let's try the other one. I feel like there's might be a little bit more foundation on this side, maybe. I swear from this distance, except for the chin, I look fine. It's the lighting, don't be fooled. Whoa, it's looking so funny here. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, it's not looking great on my nose for this side. It doesn't seem to have settled anywhere else. A little bit in the crease here. Forehead is looking fine. On the other side, definitely still settling into a smile line around my nose. And it's a little bit patchy on the forehead, but looks fine. I don't know if you see this. I don't know what happened there, but it looking really weird. Well, that's literally the most underwhelming ending of the video possible. I swear I thought this was going to be exciting. I hope you still enjoyed seeing the process and learning about my current favorites and least favorite foundation in my collection. Sometimes mixing foundation works, sometimes it just isn't. I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and not miss any future videos. I will be putting on the screen some other videos that I recommend you check out, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.